Hey everyone, Jason again with a book review. Today I will be reviewing Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. Alright, so I originally read this book in high school. I believe it was my freshman year in like a reading class or something, and I enjoyed it then. After I believe it was reading By PB in Heaven, also by Mitch Albom, for a class assignment, I decided to pick this one up. As I said, I really enjoyed it, so I figured maybe about a month or so ago now, I would pick it up again, and I'm a little bit older, a couple years older, so I would see what I can learn by it, see if I enjoyed it as much, and see if I appreciate what is being said a little bit more. And sure enough, I did. This book is a very touching book. It's a non-fiction book, and I'll start out with a little bit of summary here. Non-fiction book, as I just said, about Mitch and his life and his relationship with Morrie, his professor, his college professor. It starts out on graduation day, and that scene, it paints a very vivid scene in your head. And after graduation, Mitch gets a job, I believe it was in Detroit or something, and kind of gets away from Morrie for about, I would say, 16 years, I think. It's mentioned in the book once or twice. But he sees him on TV one day on Nightline. And he was on that special because he touched a lot of people, and was very had relationships with a lot of people. And through that interview, Mitch learns that Morrie is diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, which basically, I believe, my understanding, it takes a hold of your body, and you basically turn into stone, for lack of better words, like a better description. And this is what this book is about, and after seeing that, Mitch decides to pay his old professor a visit. They had a very, a very lively, very close relationship in college, as is said a couple times in the book. There's flashbacks to Mitch's college days within the book, and different things, different meetings, especially early in the book, different, they used to go out for coffee and meet in Morrie's office and whatnot, and highlights of, his in-class days and whatnot, also in the book. So that's that. So he decides to go visit him, and this turns into an every week thing, every Tuesday. And this is why it's called Tuesdays with Morrie. And Morrie actually helped pick out this title, as is mentioned in the book, in the final chapter. But this book is called the final thesis between Morrie and Mitch. And it's a very passionate book, very inspirational. I'll start out with a little summary here. Again, a lot of real life topics are covered within the book. It starts out, and I'll open the book in order to list these off really fast. Before we do that, Morrie liked to dance, so there's a nice tribute to Morrie, as you can kind of see. And this book, like I said, follows this life's lessons, as is said within the book. This rundown of this book reminds me of a college syllabus, college curriculum, if you will. And that's the first chapter, the curriculum, which details a lot of Morrie's, the scenery outside of the house, and it starts out with that. You have the syllabus, you have the student, which kind of details, I believe, Mitch's personal life. You have the audio-visual, which is the first Nightline interview. There's 3 interviews for Nightline. You have the orientation, which kind of details the pre-first visit and whatnot, and the classroom, which details the setting of Morrie's house. Then you get into, I believe, taking attendance, which is basically Mitch and Morrie. Kind of describes this in about a chapter or 2 here. Then you get to the visits themselves and the actual topics that were covered. The first Tuesday, they talk about the world. The second Tuesday, they talk about feeling sorry for yourself, as we see Morrie kind of going from healthy in the beginning with the first chapter to progressively, slowly getting sicker and sicker. The third Tuesday, they talk about regrets, and that's covered. Then you see the audiovisual part 2. That is the Nightline interview part 2. You have the professor, which details Morrie's personal life. You have the fourth Tuesday, they talk about death and kind of Morrie's kind of, embracing death. And this book is very positive. This is something you will note. Even though Morrie is dying, he does spread light and tries to give as much advice as possible. He has a positive note to it, which is kind of eerie, and kind of, you wouldn't think that in the beginning, but it's definitely there, which is something I enjoyed, something I found interesting. The fifth Tuesday, they talk about family, as you will see. If you read the book, they talk about Mitch's personal life and Morrie's personal life, kind of comparing and contrasting them. Sixth Tuesday, they talk about emotions. Seventh Tuesday, they talk about aging. Eighth Tuesday, they talk about money and its kind of impact on society, and there's a lot of advice put in there. You have the ninth Tuesday, they talk about love, and this is, I believe, one of the chapters where one of my favorite quotes come in, and that is, "Love each other, perish." That is a great quote within the book, kind of something that is talked about over and over again. One of the central themes of the book, I would say. And then you have, they talk about marriage and kind of detail Morrie's relationship with his wife, Charlotte. Then you have talk about the culture. Then you have talk about forgiveness, which is, as we see Morrie kind of getting sicker and sicker, this is where it kind of will make you be very emotional. It talks about, Morrie not being able to say goodbye to one of his close friends after having a feud with him and not talking to him for years, and eventually finding out that he had passed away from cancer. That's detailed. It's very emotional. As I said, this is where we see Morrie in a lot of detailed descriptions, see him getting sick. And he is very sickly at this time, unfortunately. The 13th Tuesday, I believe, they do talk about the perfect day, and it details the death plans. It's a very short chapter, only about 6 pages here. And the 14th Tuesday, they talk about finally the sad goodbye, and this is where I was almost weeping. This book will bring definitely a tear to your eye, and this is it right there. And they talk about graduation, the kind of Morrie's legacy and whatnot, and then the conclusion details after the book, and Mitch trying to better his relationship with his brother as detailed in the book. I don't want to give that away too much, but yeah, overall, it's an extremely good book, as I was saying, and it's not a very long read. It just took me a while because I wanted to embrace every detail, but it's about 200 pages. One of my friends, Archangel's HP, said he get done with the book within 3 days. So it's one of those books where it's inspirational enough, and it's good enough. It's written very, very good. You're not going to put it down. This is the truth. Very, very good book here. It's very inspirational. Very, as me as a young person, it teaches me a lot. It makes me appreciate life, and kind of, especially if you're having a tough time in life, you will want to read it, and it puts life in perspective, and you think, oh, I don't have things that bad at the moment, Yeah, so that's basically it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely check this book out. I think it's worth it. It was made into a movie, actually, I believe it was in 2010, so I have to definitely check that out. Lifetime original movie. I believe it's starring Hank Azaria, who I believe is one of the voices of The Simpsons, if I'm not mistaken. So I would definitely check that out if you are interested in any of this. It's similar to the book I've heard. It's very, very good. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the book review. Definitely check out Tuesdays Morrie. Check out Mitch's other books. He is a phenomenal writer, I think. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching this book review. If you enjoyed this book, if you enjoyed this video, both, please subscribe. Just give me your thoughts about the book. What do you think, first and foremost? I think it's a phenomenal book. As I said, it deals with life's greatest lessons, as is printed on the title and on the cover of the book. So, yeah, thanks for watching this book review. Please subscribe. Please give this video a like. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.